as they dragged Jesus away. There are torches, then there's yelling, and mobs are pouring out of the taverns as they drag Jesus through the streets. Of course, in Gethsemane, after Peter is awakened, he takes a sword and he cuts off the ear of the high priest's guard who is there. They begin to drag Jesus bound, already beaten, through the streets. And more people join the mob, cursing, spitting. They take Jesus first to the high priest's place, and ultimately they go to Herod the king. Kind of token king, actually, because the one who rules is Pilate, the Roman governor of that province, and they take him there. It's a night of horror. What would you have done? The disciples are scattered. They're running for their lives. Believers are being rousted out of their beds. It's chaos. It seems final. And the believers are running to one another. A few houses, one of them a large and wealthy family where the church has been gathering and meeting during Jesus' ministry. But everything seems final now, and there seems to be no protection. Peter follows to the high priest's house, where they'd begun a fire in the courtyard. Peter is sitting there, humbled, warming himself, trembling with fear at what he had seen and was seeing take place. And as you know the story, 3 times by that fire, Peter denies Jesus Christ, his Lord, cursing one of the times, cursing bitterly and denying that he ever knew him. And finally, Peter creeps away and begins to weep. The Bible says they all forsook him and fled. But in Mark chapter 14 and verse 51, we have one of the most interesting, seldom referred to passages. It describes a certain young man who followed Jesus. He had been awakened in his bed because it is his family's home and his mother who provided a place of safety for Christians. And because of the wealth of the family, it was relatively safe. He heard the whispers of these believers weeping and talking about what was going on. And he heard the chaos in the street. Suddenly he grabbed the linen cloth off his bed. He threw it around his naked body and dashed out to be with Jesus. Obviously, his intention was to be one person who would stand with Jesus. But as a crowd of young men who were a part of the mob saw him and identified him as one who had been with Jesus, they laid their hands upon him